Let us see. And hello, Internet. Hello, everybody.
What's going
Are
on?
you there? Are
What's
you
going
guys
on,
there?
Internet? Meow.
What's happening on a Monday? What's going on? We will no longer be complaining about the weather. How's that? I don't know.
You're
I
out.
won't. I won't be, Sarah.
I will not
Nobody is.
today. I
Okay.
mean, like mid 75 Fahrenheit. You
Yeah,
will
it's
not hear
nice.
a peep out of me. It is quite windy today. So if you hear like a thud thud, we've got a tree that sometimes hits a window that's near my studio. But I will not be complaining about that.
Yeah.
Just if
No.
you hear it, know that that's what you are hearing. Just
Yeah.
a little thunk, little occasional thunk. It's a great tree. I don't actually want to prune it at all because it's so big and has these. I don't know what kind of tree it is. It has these yellow flowers on it, at least in the summer, and it's gorgeous. Yeah, it does. It does kind of. It hits the building on a day
Yeah.
like this, a breezy day.
Yeah, you're right. It is pretty windy today. I was like, is this our Santa Ana winds time? Like that happens.
Yeah.
That happens. Let me see here. I'm just gonna get set up on my own here.
Well, hello,
And
chat. I am
want to make
saying
sure I
as
turn
I
off
send it
the
to
things I
chat.
don't need it. Everything that usually takes up too much. All right. Oh man. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I think there's plenty to talk about today.
Yeah,
You
we
know.
got stuff. We got stuff. It was so funny. Last week, I don't remember what day it was after our Apple event day, which was
Yeah.
September 9th, last Monday,
Yeah.
as we're recording this. And I mentioned something like, yeah, last week, Apple event. And someone was like, Sarah, that was 2 days ago. I was like, yeah, you're right. It
Oh
was.
wow.
God, sometimes when you've got so many events and announcements, not
Yeah.
just Apple, but just, I don't know, companies that you're interested in
Yeah.
general, it's like sometimes
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, that was last month. Oh no, 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
2 days ago. Yeah.
Feels so old already
Yeah.
compared to everything else that's
Or
new.
sometimes it'll be, for example, September 2nd, right?
Yeah.
And someone will say like, oh, last month Apple announced. And I'm like, last month? That was 2 days ago. Oh yeah, it was August 31st though.
It was last month. I know. We're already mid-month. Can you believe it? Like it's gonna be October any minute now. And
It
I'm
sure
like,
is.
dang.
And I said we wouldn't talk about weather, and I won't belabor this, but yeah, we're definitely getting into the first. Even though sometimes we'll get like a foggy kind of marine layer overcast morning
Yeah.
in my neighborhood. It's been a cruel hot summer.
Oh yeah.
And this
Very cool.
morning, it's funny because I've got these new blackout
Ooh. Yeah.
curtains for my bedroom because
Mhm.
my bedroom faces east, and it's
Okay.
just you get blasted in the
Yeah.
morning. I mean, even 6 a.m. it's real light in there. So I was like,
Okay.
okay, and I've gotten good at being like, okay, like what's the weather like outside the curtains? Because it is
Mhm.
just overall pretty dark in my bedroom, even if I'm
Mm.
sleeping in, which, I can't during the week.
Mhm.
And, so I look at my watch and it's 6:30. I'm like, okay, well, got to get up. And I look outside and I'm like, is it going to rain today? It was very moody. It was
Yeah.
like moody clouds. I haven't seen those in a while.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just been so dry and bright. It's kind of nice. Like I walked out this morning and I was like, wow, this breeze feels
Oh my
good.
gosh, I
I
felt the
feel like,
same.
you know, I
I,
feel
I
like
was
I
like,
can,
I was legitimately, let's say it was probably about 8 when I took Otis around the block, kind of just
yeah,
our morning thing. And on a day where it's going to be hit 100, it's not 100 at 8 a.m., but it's
right.
already hot. The
Yeah.
pavement's already heating up, and you just
Yeah.
sort of feel like, oh, it's going to be one of those days. And this morning I was just like, I'm cold. I could even maybe have a, like a little hoodie on right now.
Yeah. Last night, I took Sev out for his last, little pee, and I was like, oh, I don't have a jacket on. It's a little chilly, and it was late. It was like
Yeah,
11,
yeah.
and I was like, oh, I actually might need to think about that. I'm wearing long sleeves today. What? I never wear long sleeves. I mean, I have my fan running behind me, but it's a new
Yeah,
world.
it's a new world. It's a new world. We're going to creep up in temps a bit. We said we wouldn't
Next
talk about
week.
temperature, and
I
we
know.
lied. We just lied.
Well, this is the pre-show, so don't worry.
Yeah,
We'll get
yeah, yeah.
that now.
Temperature only as far as the temperature of your, iPhone battery life.
Yeah.
Once the show gets started, but yeah, it's gonna creep up a little bit more. But I had taken Otis the dog to his favorite dog park. It wasn't yesterday, so I guess it was Saturday night. Must have been Saturday night. We got wild plans in the Lane household. Like, what are you gonna do on Saturday night? So probably take Otis to the dog park. That's what he likes.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it was Friday, whatever. But we went, and it was late, and I mean, not like crazy late, but we got there at about sunset, and then they've got lights, so you're not sitting there in the dark, but people start to leave after a while. It's kind of dinner time. And, we're sitting there, and there are a couple dogs, which Otis ignores anyway, because he's just not social at dog parks. And yeah, I was like, kind of looking at everyone that was left, and everybody was wearing sweatshirts, and I was like, yeah, I don't need to be in a t-shirt and shorts right now. Like I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, I could have had a layer. Would have been a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, and it's easy not to be able to be fully prepared because it's just been one way for so long, Oh,
Right,
hi,
right.
Amos. Wait, I'm gonna let Amos into the stage. Hey, Amos.
Hello.
We've decided to get all our weather talk out now, and
Yep,
then
we're done.
We'll not talk about. Yeah, we won't talk about it during the show. So or during the recorded show, or the show, or the show that will be presented in audio form. How's that? Because it'll always be here in this live stream.
So I told you guys earlier that I wouldn't be seeing any updates today because I'm not going to update my studio until after all the recordings are done today and stuff like that. But I'm also not feeling well, so I decided to take a nap before the show.
That's what Eileen said. Maybe he's napping.
Yeah.
So I came downstairs and my computer had decided to update while I was napping.
And
then
it
I
just
couldn't get
started the update.
Then I couldn't get my laptop, which is it's on the beta, so it's already updated. I was like, okay, cool. So I grabbed that. And my MacBook Pro wouldn't start because it didn't have a brick big enough to charge it, and the battery was dead since I hadn't used it since last weekend.
It's just one of them Mondays. It's just like that happens. Yeah. It happens. So, I mean, you're not even late. It's all worked out.
I'm sitting there watching DTNS on my iPad like I normally do, so I know when to switch over. Telling Eileen, switch, go live now,
Yeah.
on text message because I can't get anywhere to open it. Oh my gosh! So welcome Monday.
My gosh! Hello Monday.
Oh, happy Monday. We Eileen and I were just talking about how happy we are that it's not 500 degrees at all hours. We've had a respite. It's been truly. I was talking to a friend who lives in a different part of the world. Who just has very different weather. I was like, you don't know how happy I am right now. Yeah. It looks like it might rain, and she was like, well, it's been raining here for a week, and I'm like, I mean, bring it on, universe.
Yeah.
I know.
Let me at it. I would love that right now.
During our heat wave, this was my, I don't know if you could see it. This was my wallpaper on my iPhone. I wanted to look at a tone blue
a moody
ocean, a moody, and I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it for a while. I really like it.
Keep it for a while. It's nice.
Yeah, it helps me when it was so hot. I was like, let me look at this, tone blue ocean that I am not near, and nowhere near the same temp. But yeah,
over the weekend, and I'll share it with everybody once I actually get it delivered. I don't know when it's coming, but I went crazy and bought because I feel like I haven't bought artwork for myself in so long. Like I have a lot of pieces of art. I mean, you can't really see anything because, this is just sort of my background here in the studio, but it's all stuff that I like, but I've had it for decades. I've been carting this stuff around and I don't know. I kind of put it up in the new house and I'm like, yeah, it's all my stuff. But it would be nice to have something new and fresh.
Yeah.
So I bought a print of a zebra taking a bath.
I want to see this.
I know. Me too. In real life, because I'm like online. It looks great. I love it. I don't know where I'm going to put it. Kind of a strange thing to buy, really, unless it's in my bathroom. But I already, I don't really have a place for it in there. But I just thought it was nice.
Is it in a tub or in the
a tub?
wild?
Yeah, like in a clawfoot tub.
Okay. Oh my god!
Zebras
need to take baths too.
You know what this house needs? Needs a little more zebra. That's how I felt. Yeah. So anyway,
add color by adding a zebra.
Yeah. Well, the room that the zebra's in is colorful. It's a colorful print overall.
Yeah.
And I got a nice little, like nothing crazy, but I got a frame, yes, but what's the thing between the print and the frame where you have like some space when you frame something? What's that called? Somebody in chat would know. The
Yes.
What is it called?
I don't know. Okay. Now I'm
border.
I mean, it's a
The
border, but there's
bezel.
a
The bezel.
No, it's
the
a
mat?
specific name.
The mat. The mat.
Okay, there we
yes, the mat.
There's
Yeah.
many. Yes. Thank you, chat room, for coming. We're coming through.
Thank you. Yes. Andy Toy with Matt. Well, anyway, yeah. So anyway, that was an exciting part of my weekend. New piece of art. Excited. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ordered a new wallet.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
The one I have right now.
And not even a digital wallet, a real one.
a physical wallet.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old school. It's like a person who buys a watch.
I know. It's crazy.
Is it like, does it do, I mean, is it just?
It's a Ridge wallet. It's the new design by MKBHD. Ridge wallet. They came out with a new style. I've been looking for Ridge wallets for a while, but none of them kind of fit my aesthetic. And then this one came out, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice," and I went ahead and bought it. It doesn't hurt that my current wallet is it's one of those little ones that you like flip and like the cards pop out, But now I flip it, and some cards stay in, some cards come all the way out. Like they don't just come out a little bit like they're supposed to. It's kind of
My
all or
current
nothing.
wallet. My current wallet, I'll show you, is the most ridiculous thing ever. It was, sometimes where, I mean, I don't know, maybe Eileen would know this more than everybody else, but like if you get like a tiny little handbag, sometimes they come with like a little wallet insert.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And so
Like a leather pouch.
years ago, a friend of mine gave me like this cute little like a crossbody bag, and it had this little wallet that came with it, and the bag. Who even knows where that is anymore? And this wallet, just with like several cards, and I think I have $2 in here shoved inside, has been my wallet since like 2010.
Oh wow. Okay.
And they don't even fit in here. Like there's a zipper, and they don't. You can't even zip this closed. I have lived this way for a really long time.
Yeah.
It just kind of, I don't know. It worked.
It works for you if you don't lose anything. Then
And more often than not, I use my phone for everything now. So it's like pulling stuff out of my wallet is not the chore that it once was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, next week it's supposed to arrive today, so next week I'll give you my 1 week review of the MKBHD Ridge wallet.
Very cool.
Oh,
what
very
color is
cool.
it?
It's black and red.
Black and red. That's fun.
Black and red. Yep.
Like a Ferrari.
He has three wallets through Ridge, 3 designs, and one of them is kind of boring, and the other one's like matte black everything design. This one's got like bright red with glossy black, and I was like, that's my jam.
That's my jam. Yeah, you know it when you see it. Good stuff. All right, well, what do you say we get her going here?
Let's
Not a
go.
chance.
Oh, look at my fireworks. Let's get going. Yeah.
Sorry. Eileen's ready. She's ready to
I
go.
was ready.
She's partying.
Oh,
All right.
man.
All right. I'll count myself in here.
Give me just a second. Make sure I got everything going. All right.
Okay. In 3, 2. It is Apple Vision Show, episode 33. Hey, everybody. I'm Sarah Lane.
And I'm Eileen Rivera. Hi,
What's going on, Eileen?
You know, I'll let everybody know later in the show why I was up till almost 4 a.m. It's related to digital purging.
Rights management?
Digital rights management. Managing your data. And I'm like,
boy.
Oh man, I don't know why I don't have coffee right now. This is just water. But yeah, I will let you guys know of my mistakes and what I'm doing about it in order to fix my mistakes, which isn't that bad, but you know. And then we'll also seek advice from all of you as well.
as to how to keep Eileen from being up till 4 a.m. You know, I know the feeling though, without totally knowing what you were going through. Sometimes it's like you just get into a groove and you're like, you know what? I want to solve this. And so I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I'm actually glad I stayed up to solve stuff. But anyway, I'll get into that later. It's a fun story to share. Okay. And I'm sure people will be like, oh, if you only did X, if you only did, I'm like, yeah, I know. You know?
Yeah, you gotta just, sometimes you gotta just go through it. And you know, I will say, and this is probably just because I often do things the hard way or the long way or just whatever. Sometimes I'm like, I want to figure out. I want to figure it out. Like my brain wants to do it the way that it wants to do it. And this is better than you helping me right now.
Right. Yeah. And I honestly, it was a practice of just don't be panicked at 3 a.m. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. They'll figure it out. And I think
you're more of a night owl than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like 3, if it's 3 a.m. and I'm awake, something is terribly wrong.
Believe me,
I'm looking at my watch like, I got to be up in 3 hours. This is not going to go well. Like I need to call in sick. You know, kind of thing. Yeah. But we all have different rhythms.
I was all prepared to go to sleep much, much earlier, and then stuff happened, and I was like, okay, I'm going to figure this out.
It always does. It always does. Well, speaking of stuff happening, we've got stuff happening on this here show, episode 33. So look at us. Look at us going. So last week, obviously, was the big iPhone day. So Eileen and I and Amos were coming in hot right after the announcement. You know, we've taken notes, first thoughts, and that's what we were all talking about. If you missed that show, it's a good time. Go back and listen to it because things have changed a bit in the past week. Now, one of the sentiments that I have heard from quite a few folks who, you know, even Apple fans, was just like, why was that announcement so long? You know, what did we really even get? You know, this isn't for me. And some of my first responses to them was, well, maybe it was a little bit too long, but if you're not looking to upgrade, which I was not, you know, and I said that ahead of time. My iPhone is in perfect shape. I just don't have a good, compelling reason to do it. You know, financially, really, but even so, really, I was not moved to need a new iPhone. But it sounds like quite a few folks are interested in the iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Plus, and less so for the Pro and Pro Max models. Now, Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, who's one of the greatest as far as knowing data, looking at data from Apple, predicting what Apple is going to do in the future, supply chain stuff, did some number crunching, and said that he estimates that the sales of all the 4 new iPhone 16, so that would be the iPhone 16, iPhone 16 Plus, Pro, and then Pro Max models, reached about 37 million units in the first weekend after Apple began accepting pre-orders. Eileen, you were one of those pre-orderers.
Right.
And that's down 13% compared to that same weekend of the iPhone 15 series last year. Now, you can attribute that a lot to, maybe last year a lot of people were just ready to upgrade. The iPhone 15 was a pretty big step up from the 13, which I had beforehand. So that was a pretty big upgrade. But I think it also the Pro and the Pro Max, while bigger, Apple didn't really give us a compelling reason that, they were like, oh, now you're really cooking with gas kind of thing. It's like they sold the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus so hard, with Apple Intelligence, that I think people were sort of like, oh, okay, well, if you want a bigger one, then you want a bigger one. And camera stuff is good, but a lot of people don't care about that. They're just not going to become cinematographers tomorrow. So this again is, this is an Apple hater's delight, because they go, finally, Apple can't sell, iPhones anymore. I think there's more to it. I think Apple Intelligence not coming until October is going to help numbers stay a little bit more consistent. Maybe the person who didn't pre-order last week will end up ordering, mid next month. But there are also concerns that, the Chinese market getting oversaturated. Apple has a lot of competition, having a hard time, in a market that had been juicing its sales for some years now.
Yeah. I mean, the 16, like you said, and 16 Plus did see higher demand, but, not enough to offset the Pro. I woke up at 5 a.m. on Friday. Hit that button. It went relatively fast, actually. I had to wait like 5 minutes in order to order, but I had already put in all my information and it was ready to go. All I had to do was hit yes, go. And and I chose the Pro because I already have a Pro, so I'm just gonna keep going with the Pro. And it has nothing to do with like I'm not like a iPhone 13 or 14 person, then moving up and like going, oh, maybe I need this, that, and the other versus, just the regular phone. I'm just being consistent with my choice. But if I'm looking at both phones, iPhone 16, iPhone 16 Pro, they're $200 difference for the lower end models. And then you've got like a 5-core chip on the 16, 6-core GPU, 5-core GPU versus a 6-core GPU on the Pro. And then you get this 5 times telephoto camera on the Pro and 48 megapixel ultra wide camera. To your point, Sarah, a lot of people don't need that. A lot of people are like, this 16 is plenty good. And oh, you know what too? The colors. I don't know if the colors have anything to do with it, but I love the colors of the 16 versus the Pro. Like, why does the Pro only have to have? I mean, and I bought the Desert Titanium, everybody. I bought it. I got the
I never really thought about it because I don't know. I'm just like, give me gold all the time. That's all I want. But you're right. Yeah. It's like, why does the Pro have to have less fun?
Yeah. Why does it have to look so much more pro? Why can't we have color? I mean, I guess you just get a case, of course, but some people,
it's like if you're serious, then you just do titanium, because you're a professional. That is kind of that's a funny thing. I guess the colors always tend to be the iPhone 16 is very, very nice phone.
Yeah, it's a great phone.
But yeah. Why don't they just offer more colors? They must, I don't know. They must have been doing going back to our conversation from a few episodes back about surveys,
Oh, I mean, yeah.
and figuring out, what 10 people in a room think that, you should have for certain price points for phones.
I'm telling you, I would have got the ultramarine color instead, or maybe even the pink. I would have gone with
Yeah.
something a little bit more fun than desert titanium. I'm going for it. I've got desert titanium coming. I will show it to you guys when I when I get it next week. But I posted on our TikTok account that I did this, and I just said, "Oh, how many people upgraded?" I didn't do a count because we have like 62 comments here, but I got a strong feeling that most people here, the majority of people commenting, are not going to upgrade. Now there are some cases saying I'm going from a 13 Pro Max to 16 Plus, not Pro. This person also said 16 Plus. And then, some people are like, I'm just going to wait for the 17. I don't really, see the need. Even with the 14, they're like, there's nothing here. There's a couple of haters. That's fine. But, I would say the majority of people here were like, oh, good for you to upgrade, but I didn't, So the fever is gone down. And like you said, there wasn't anything that was such a blockbuster uh feature that we needed. Now, Sarah, you know what I did get in the mail? I already got
What's
my
that?
case. I got my case.
Did you? There you go.
I ordered
Okay.
a case. I always order a clear case, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll ship it to you." Like, what do you mean now? Like, oh, but all right. It's lonely. It's been It came
I
on
mean, at least
Saturday.
you when you get the phone, you got the case, all good.
Yeah.
Case came first.
Case came first. So, yeah, it's interesting. Now, I'm going to upgrade my watch, guys. I'm getting the Series 10.
Now
I'm very excited.
this part is exciting to me for you,
Thank
because
you.
it's just going to be such an upgrade from the Apple Watch experience that
so.
you've had. You've had the Series
Yeah.
4, right?
Yeah. My
And
little
and
Ford
like and
here.
that's
Oh.
nothing to, it's still a great watch.
Yeah.
I've got the Series 7. I love it. I got no complaints, really. Really.
Yeah.
It would be great if the battery life was a million days long, but otherwise, it does everything I want it to do. It's a
Yeah.
great watch. But I am jealous. I am jealous. And one of the reasons is that, not that I think that I have sleep apnea personally, although who really knows?
Who really knows? Yeah.
But being able to track your sleep data with now FDA approved sleep apnea detection on Apple Watch, not only your Series 10 that you're getting, but Series 9 and up. So it's the Series 9,
Yeah,
Series 10, and then the new Ultra, Apple Watch Ultra. All has that. So I don't get that. And I want it. And I don't even think that I really have sleep apnea, but I'm like, the more health tracking data that I have, sleep or otherwise, I'm just into it. I love the fitness tracker, but also actual helpful device if I take a fall kind of thing. All that stuff, makes it worthwhile for me to never take this thing off unless I'm charging it.
Right.
For
Do
an
you
hour a
have
day.
like a permanent tan? Do you have a permanent tan?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can see it on the for the streamers.
You're like, if you ever take it off, they're like, oh, you have an Apple Watch, don't you? You don't take it.
You can't see.
I can see it. I can actually
You can't see how dramatic this is, and it's also just for whatever reason. I don't know. I have a weird wrist, but my watch just sits slightly off center of my wrist, which is like, when I'm looking at it, who cares? But when I take it off, my tan is very strange. Because it's like, it's a tan, but it's like, what's that bubble? It's like, that's how my Apple Watch sits on my wrist. Thankfully, I never take it off, so it's not a conversation I have to have very often. But yeah, no, I'm excited for you. I'm excited about the Series 10. You're gonna have to do all sorts of extreme sports, Eileen, and let us all know how it's working.
I mean, I refused the Ultra because I'm like, wow, that's really for hardcore. But
It's too big for you, I think.
Yeah. what is this face is like I can't remember now, 4.1, and now I'm going I didn't do the bigger face. I just did the smaller face. So
Right.
4.2. But it's going to be a lot thinner, and I'm just excited for it to last most of the day this time, and for me to not think about, oh, maybe today I won't wear my watch, so it could sit and charge for a little bit longer because it needs to. So yeah, I will test it out. I will, reluctantly do this sleep apnea stuff because I'm just like, oh my gosh, how much. I'm the opposite, where I'm like, maybe I don't want to know, but I'm gonna put it to the test, and I'll let you guys know.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
is found.
Or see what works for you. I've got some friends, my mom has a Series 8, I believe.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm, mom, you'll correct me eventually because she listens to all my stuff. But she's like, I don't wear my watch at night, because I was sort of like, how's your sleep? And she's like, I'm not wearing my watch overnight. Who does that? And a lot of people are just like, no, I can't do that. I'm so used to it that it does not bother me at all. I mean, if I were to, I also, well, this is like getting into like personal grooming stuff, but it's like not every single night, but I usually take a shower right before I go to bed.
Okay,
It just is like, it's just what you do at the end of the day. And then you feel like your sheets are clean and blah, blah, blah. And my watch, I just wear it now in the shower. I do the thing where like it spits out water.
Yep.
But it also makes me feel like, like the whole apparatus, it feels clean, and it's not like I'm not putting it underwater for long periods of time, but there's some soap, there's some water, it just feels clean. And so it does not bother me to wear it at night. But everybody's different. I wouldn't wear a headband at night, and maybe somebody else would be like, I do. Right. It's fine.
I'd be like, all the time.
How can you? Yeah.
Well, people that like, I can't wear socks at night.
Oh, I can't wear
bothers
socks.
Me. It bothers me, but there's plenty of people that love it, right? So, or that need to. I mean, I may do it if it's really, really, really cold, and we just can't, warm up the house enough, but I don't like it. If in the middle of the night, I'll notice that at least one of the socks have fallen off. Like it doesn't stay.
No, I'm with you on that one. I mean, unless I was camping, where it's like all bets are off, right? In fact, I have a hot water bottle. Which is like a ridiculous thing to even think about, given the hot summer that we've had in Los Angeles. But at night in the winter, I warm it up. I put hot water in it. It's scalding hot water. But I mean, it's thick rubber, so it's not going to hurt you. But it's hot, and then I put it at the bottom of the bed. And my feet are just having some fun, and then eventually it'll cool off, and I'm asleep anyway. It doesn't matter. But that's my socks, because I cannot sleep with socks.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, I actually feel a little vindicated, because I've been told that the sock aversion is a little strange, and I'm like, I can't sleep. I like socks during the day, just fine.
I'll wear them around the house, no problem.
I take a walk with my dog. I put socks on. And shoes.
Yeah. Not just the socks, everybody.
Can you imagine? No, just the socks. Just the socks. You don't need shoes. Oh boy.
Oh man.
Well, Eileen, that's fun. So yeah, you've got, iPhone 16 Pro coming, and Apple Watch Series 10. What kind of band did you get for the watch?
I just got a regular band. It looks kind of like this that I have right now, which is, it feels like an elastic band with the, with the
I think you've got the same idea. It's supposed to be good for, kind of, I don't know, not breaking down in moisture and that kind of thing.
Honestly, this band that I'm wearing right now is from Amazon. It was like $10. So if I change anything, I like to go to the Amazon route. The third party bands are just fine. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to go anywhere super fancy to buy it. So, but yeah, I actually don't like changing out my bands. So I just keep one the whole time. So if this one works for me, the band that I selected, I'll probably have it for the entire run of my.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Even though when I had a Fitbit, the Versa 2, which I loved, this is pre Apple Watch days. I, at one point, it just comes with the one band. Maybe there were others, but, I just had the one, basically black rubber, plastic, something. And at some point, the watch died. And I got a hold of Fitbit, and I told them, here's what happened. And the customer support was great. Kudos to Fitbit for this. It was like, I wasn't lying about it. I was like, it's not doing this and that anymore. And they were like,
Yeah.
all right, we'll just send you a new watch. And I was like, really? That's awesome. Do I need to send this one back to you? And they're like, don't even worry about it. So I'm like, okay, I'm probably not the only person who's complained about these issues. But I was like, oh, okay. And here's the band that I would like. And they were like, oh, no. You're not getting a new whole thing. You're getting a new face. And I was like, all right, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, it's fine. Because I already have the band. There's nothing wrong with the band. Anyway, so I got the new face and I had to attach it to the band that I already had. And it was such a process, like hours long. Eileen, I'm looking at YouTube videos, of which there are many. And, here's some troubleshooting tips. Like, it just is... It's not rocket science, but it's like a precision thing you have to get just right or it won't stick. The Apple Watch, swapping out bands, I get you. I don't really do it either. This is the band I use all the time. Like, who cares? It's fine. If it fell apart, I'd get another one kind of thing. But I don't have a ton of them, like jewelry. But if I did, it's easy to swap out.
Yeah, you're like, listen, I have been through some kind of band swap. Apple is so much more consumer friendly.
True. Truly, it was like, you just click and click.
Yeah.
Oh, we're done. Whereas with Fitbit, I was like, I have like minuscule like screwdriver tools. I'm looking at the YouTube video and I'm like, oh, I missed a key part of this. Okay, go back.
That is not okay. That is not okay for you to have gone through that. That's
fine.
They got a lot of
It's
complaints.
all learning experience. I wasn't the first person to do it, which is why there were YouTube videos, which, that's the beauty of the internet. But on the subject of Apple Watch getting FDA approval for sleep apnea detection, which is, again, this is not going to replace a doctor. This is just the watch being like, hey, we have detected some patterns that might make you want to talk to a doctor about this. But Apple AirPods also got approved as hearing aids by the FDA. These were both things during the keynote 1 week ago, as of this recording, where I was like, well, they expect FDA approval, but I wonder why they don't have it yet. It felt a little like, here's this great feature that we hope happens someday. Well, I'll eat my words a little bit because, 1 week later, we got approval for both. So I guess Apple was probably pretty confident that it was going to go through, and their announcement just happened to be before that.
Yeah. I guess that makes you think about, all the delays with Apple Intelligence too. Like, it's coming. It may not be here immediately, shipped with the phone, the way, or some of the features the way you were given hope for, or maybe the way even other phones and other manufacturers have their AI working, but it will get here. So yeah, I guess there's the little bit of like, well, trust in them a bit, even though it seems like they're dragging their feet. It will happen. And then hopefully we'll all, love the experience.
Indeed. Well, we've got, speaking of experiences, we do have iOS 18, iPad OS 18, Watch OS 18, TV OS 18, Mac OS Sequoia that have all been released. Some of us have been using developer or beta versions of all the stuff. But before we get into some of that and what is rumored for what's coming down the pike this fall, maybe we should take a short break. All right, Eileen. So this morning I was all excited to install iOS 18. There's so many of
Ah,
them now. I have to,
yes, I
keep them
know.
straight because I'm already running the beta, and I
Yeah,
have been for months, and
right.
I'm used to it. It just, it just looks like my phone to me. These
Mhm,
things tend to become pretty normal, after a few days of use. And so I
mhm.
was like, maybe it's different. It isn't. It's not. It's not different. It's not different at all.
It's all the
I
same.
was
You
like,
already know.
maybe there's some Apple intelligence that they just snuck in, So I'm doing
No.
that kind of like maybe we get, the Hey Siri kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, none of it. No, I'm not saying it's not a good update for anybody who's updating. You will get some pretty nifty customizations for the home screen. We talked about this a
Mhm,
few episodes back when we
mhm.
heard about iOS 18. Well, I guess it's more than a few episodes back because this would have been WWDC back in
Yeah, in
June.
June.
And a lot of that stuff has just become, I don't know, it's just in the background to me. I do find the Photos album to be much more helpful than it used to be. That's
Mm,
one of the big updates for anybody who takes a lot of photos. Apple is doing its best to just give you more album options and collections options, and
mhm.
try to make sense of a lot of photos, because I think the company knows that a lot of us just have a ton of photos in there that we're not really doing anything with. But I also updated Sequoia on
Mm,
my. I was running the Sequoia beta on this computer
right.
that I'm using now.
Mhm.
Worked great. And I mean, for anybody who's like, well, so what, what's the difference? I mean, if you're in the beta program, which doesn't cost any money, by the way, the developer program does. What is it? 99 bucks a year, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
I think that's what it is. Beta is just like, hi, I want to be part of the beta program. Doesn't cost you
Yeah.
anything, but you
Yep.
also agree that you might get something that's buggy and not ready for
Right.
prime time. I didn't have a problem with Sequoia at all, and I've been running it on two machines in beta mode for since it was available, which I think was end of June. I
Yeah,
think
it
it was
was
end of
it was a
June.
while ago, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really have any notes now. iPad
Oh, there's
OS.
nothing
I
new.
don't.
Okay.
I don't have an iPad, so we're
Okay.
not one that's going to be able to run this. So no real notes. But I guess my real takeaway is that the beta versions of both of these were really solid.
Yeah, I think so too. The thing that I did was text message like my sister and was doing the like big font and like special stickers and stuff like that. I have little stickers of 7 that can now be the tap backs, on a message. And then just
Seven the
showing
dog.
7 the dog, yes, 7 the
Yeah.
dog. And so we were just playing around with them, like, "Can you see this? Can you see this?" And she's like, "Yeah, I can see this. I could see the, like, big font move up and down because I was just playing with that a little bit. So, yeah, it's good to I'm not gonna obviously, I'm gonna trade in my, 15 soon, so I'm not gonna mess with that, and my you just reminded me, I need to with my iPad that I'm not going to upgrade, I should probably get off the beta and just have the regular, iPad OS 18, although, I don't know, I'm just too lazy, maybe I won't do it after all. Now, Sequoia, I don't have, so I'm gonna do that, later this evening and upgrade, so I can't wait to see what's different about that, and the watch, never mind. Let's just wait for the Series 10 to come. I'm good to go there. And then we talked about tvOS 18. Maybe I will do the full upgrade because there was some features that were missing. But like you said, maybe it's not there yet, but we'll see. And there wasn't much for tvOS that I thought was like, game changing at all. Just some audio enhancements and things like that that I thought might be helpful when watching a show. Although I'm not really watching an Apple TV Plus show right now, so um, everything is like on Netflix. So we'll see if I even see anything, fabulous with a TV OS 18 upgrade. But it's been fun. It's been fun to see people kind of like now that, because we've been running the beta for so long. It's like, oh, finally you can see this now. Finally you could do this with me now.
Right, right. Amos is saying in our chat that we've got 3 levels of betas when it comes to Apple. So you've got the public beta, so that's what I've been using. Then there's developer beta, and then registered developer beta. And I guess the registered developer beta is the one that costs money. I don't know. If I can do anything developer beta that doesn't cost money, I will. I'm just not. I'm like, $99 a year. I don't care that much. But yes, as far as beta stuff goes, I'm not super scared about running beta software in general.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
me
it
neither.
depends on the company, certainly. But when
Right.
it comes to Apple, I'm like, if something's wonky, I can just go back.
Yeah.
My stuff's
Revert.
in the cloud. It's good. We're good. But
I think the
But
only
yeah.
thing I didn't like is that my battery would run really hot running the beta, and my battery would run down a lot quicker. Because I was complaining about it the other day, and I'm like, oh wait, I have the beta. That's probably why. It's like,
no,
needing to charge a
I
little bit
found that to
sooner.
be the case too.
Yeah. So
Really,
that's
really
the only
hot.
thing that was annoying. I'm like, ugh, it's like it wouldn't charge, like I've got it charging in my car, and if we were driving long, it would just stop because it's so hot. So when temperatures cool down, we'll have it charge again. It happened at home too. First I thought, oh, in the car because it's so hot, the temperature. But once it happened at home, I'm like, well, wait a minute, it's just sitting on the charger. What do you mean it's not going to charge fully until my phone is cool? So that's the only thing. That really bothered me during the beta. There might have been a few
And those
things.
are those are some of the quirks that you get in
Yeah.
beta updates, right? Because
Yeah.
the company is like, hey, do you want to be a hamster and help us test guinea pig
Yeah.
and help
Yeah.
us test this? And some of us are like, sure, because we want
Yeah.
to see the new features, and see if
Yeah.
things do or don't work. I will say, and I don't think this has anything to do with anything, because my Apple Watch is a Series 7, and like I said, runs like a dream, no problems. But I have noticed, because like I said, I wear it when I'm, overnight. I
Yeah.
even wear it in the shower. But it does have to be charged. And so what I usually do is I wake up in the morning, I make my coffee. As I'm making my coffee, I charge the watch because I know I'm not going anywhere for about an hour. And then by the time it's time to, get out and walk my dog, it's charged, fully charged.
Oh,
and I always
nice.
tell people,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just, as long as you have to remember to do that. But if you do that, it's like it doesn't disrupt anything at all, because you're always going to be sedentary a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, just figure out what that hour is.
Right.
But I bring this up because, and it's not super dramatic, but I have noticed that I'll put my watch down, for that like hour-ish charge, and be like, oh, it'll be 100% way before I'm even ready to go. And I
Okay.
come back and it's like 97. And I'm like,
Oh, I don't like that. You need, come on, man,
yeah,
that extra 3%.
where I'm like,
bugs
it's
you. Yeah.
fine. I mean, it's basically 100. It's fine.
Yeah.
This does not matter. But I'm like, I can see you depleting somehow. However, I charge it off a Mac Mini. So that might be the issue. My poor little Mac Mini that continues to die on me every day.
Well, you know what? Something good may be coming your way soon. We've been
Something
talking about
good.
2 episodes now, but I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah.
coming. I think it's coming. But yeah, let us know if you guys, what you guys really like about iOS 18 or iPad OS 18 or anything. I'm curious what now that everybody's got it or can get it. What do you guys think? Like, what are you using the most? I see, you know what
Right.
I see a lot is on my notifications, it's like folded notifications, you get kind of like the summary, like these are all the things on, whatever, Instagram, like these are like the top 3, posts or something that has come your way, or email, these are the 3 emails that to expect. I see a lot of that, which I'm kind of just it's fine. I don't think I need it,
Yeah.
but it's there, and I'm like, okay, great. I
I've
can
definitely
see.
seen some sneaky notifications come in with
Mm.
iOS 18 beta. Like, for example, I never had Amazon send me notifications before. It's like I've got an
Oh,
Echo Show in the kitchen.
yeah.
I know when my package is coming. I get the emails. We're good. I don't need that. And then
Mhm.
all of a sudden, it was like, oh, notifications for that, which is all right. That's fine. But then it was
Yeah.
like notifications for like, here's Amazon's deal of the day. Where I'm like, never. I never want things like this. I
Yeah.
will seek this out. It's not that I'm not interested. This should not be a push notification. So I went through the other day and I was like, yeah, a bunch of this stuff they snuck through the beta somehow. Because
They
this was
did.
never anything that I had, saw or approved before.
Yeah. Well, they're
Eh,
making you work
eh,
to change it, I
they
guess,
tried.
They're
They
like, "Well, we'll
tried.
try. Maybe she won't ever turn it off." Mm.
Yeah, right. I will
A lot of
say
people
though,
don't.
Eileen. Okay, so remember, I mean, I don't know, 6 months ago, where I was like, "There's
Mhm.
something weird with Duolingo, where it's like a
Oh,
sad
yeah.
Duolingo icon
Yeah.
on my home screen." And I'm like, I think it has to do with the fact that I'm not using it that much. And it's
Uh,
true. That's actually
yeah.
something that, the Duolingo is really pushy. Okay. If anyone doesn't use Duolingo, if you use it on a daily basis, you're like, it's great. If you pay
Mhm.
for, a pro version, you don't get ads. It's great.
Mhm.
If you
Mhm.
if you don't pay for a pro version and you just sort of like, whenever I want to do that,
Uh-huh.
Duolingo is one of those other companies that went hard on notifications, like to the point where it was like, I got a notification from Duolingo the other day that was like, I guess you just don't love me anymore. And it was like this like sad, little bird. I was like, what is this? Stop this. Gosh, you have no idea what's going on in my life, Duolingo. But anyway, I was like, okay, you got me, because I want that bird to look happy on my home screen, because it is on my home
Oh,
screen
we
of my
did get
iPhone.
you.
So I
Okay.
did my French lessons. French is my language on Duolingo. And sure enough, after a few days, now I have a smiling bird again.
Oh, and now you guys are, yeah, and you smile back, right? You're like, "Oh, look at you." Or do you even
Well,
care?
it's effective.
It's
Because you're like, I
effective.
don't want like like the bird was like sad, sick, like something
I
like
know.
snot was coming out. Like it was dramatically not something you want to look at every time you look at your iPhone.
No, I don't wanna see a snot, driven bird.
No, I had a conversation on, I think it was Threads, with somebody about this the other day, and they were like, well, I mean, but do you want to learn a language? Like, if you just do it regularly, this won't happen to you. And I'm like, this is like a privacy conversation at this point. Like, well, if you have nothing to hide, I'm like, no, don't guilt me into this. This is no, I mean, I'm not. I used to pay for Duolingo. I'm not currently, because I just
Okay.
can't put that much effort into it. So I'm like, I'll deal with ads, but I don't want. Yeah, I don't want like a sickly little bird, on my home screen, just being like,
I
Sarah,
don't know,
you
Sam.
suck. You
It
suck.
it it but you admitted it did work, man. So
It did. It
Duolingo
worked.
developers, you heard it here. You
Yep.
got her. You
Yeah.
got her.
Yeah. You
And
got
now she's
me.
using it.
You got me. And I actually I like the product.
Oh,
I
I
really
love
do.
Duolingo. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love it.
it's I'm not, this isn't like, oh, I have to be dragged kicking and screaming into like learning a new language, like I did this to myself. It's just, you know how it goes. Sometimes
I
you're like,
know.
I'm either too busy, or I'm kind of just not into it right now,
Yeah.
and I'll get to it later. That kind
Well,
of
and
thing.
the more advanced you get, the harder it is. And like I'm a little bit more advanced in mine, and then sometimes I'm like, this is going to take me a while. Oh, I start the run and the round, and I'm like, oh my god, this could take me 10. This is hard,
It's going to be a
and it's
while,
it's going
right?
to be a
Yeah.
while. Do I have 10 minutes? Okay, here we go. But
Well, and some of the stuff where I mean, I don't have a whole lot of shame about this, but some of the stuff where, at least for French, and I assume Korean, and
mhm.
whatever language that somebody's learning, you get to a certain point, and they want to test how your speaking capability
Oh.
is.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, and you can say like, can't talk right now. Like, what if you're at the
Mhm.
DMV? Like, that would be weird. But,
Mhm.
sometimes I'll be on a walk and I'm just like, la, 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 ding. And I'm like, uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
But it's a little silly.
It
I
is.
mean,
Well,
there are people who are kind of like, what's she doing? And I'm like, I don't really care because I don't know you.
Oh,
But
they know. They know what you're
yeah.
doing. Like, oh, she's doing Duolingo. I know what that is. Like,
They
come on.
they hear that
We
ding and
know.
they're like,
Yeah,
we know what you're
we
doing.
know
We
what
know
that
what you're
is.
doing. And your accent needs some work, girlfriend.
Korean doesn't actually have speaking. It only has
Oh, really?
listening. Yeah, which is sad. It's just listening and reading. So hopefully they'll add that eventually. But yeah, they don't have that. Which I have French and I have even Mandarin, and they have it. But yeah, sadly, not for
Hmm.
Korean. Soon, probably soon. But we'll see. I still love the app. It's good.
It's a good app. It is. It's, you guys are pushy and I see you and I applaud you for your efforts. Cause you got me this weekend. No, it was fun.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of happy to swing back into it. Also, this is like not something that you have to dedicate 4 hours to.
No.
It's like a 10 minute, 10
10
minutes a
minute
day.
max.
You're
Yeah.
you're good. You're good to go. You're
Yeah.
gonna, keep your streak, the whole thing. Well, on the note of things that I am very excited about,
Yes.
because I'm not getting a new watch or a new iPhone at this time, but really want that Mac Mini. And it does sound, again, this has already been rumored and continues to be a rumor, but it does sound like if anything is to repeat what happened last year, Apple may introduce basically give us a new Mac event
Yeah.
at the end of next month. So, we're talking 6 weeks or so from
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
And that could include the new Mac Mini, which would be the M4 Mac Mini, which I am getting. Now, I don't know if I'm getting the Mac Mini or Souped Up Pro version. Not sure what I need exactly. I want to wait and see what the options are, but I'm pumped. Eileen, I'm
Yeah.
pumped.
This is it. This is
This
the
is it.
one for you.
This is my device. This is
Yeah.
not only because, and again, I'm sorry, Mac Mini. As I look at you, I feel bad. You've been such a wonderful friend to me, but you do seem to be slipping a bit. More so than usual.
Sometimes you got to retire. It's all
yeah,
good.
we're gonna give you something a little easier to do.
Yes.
You'll still have a job. We'll figure it out. Just something a little easier. We'll give the new guy the heavy lifting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
yeah.
gal, whatever.
Whatever
I
you
don't know
wanna
if
call it.
computers are boys or girls. I've never thought about that.
Oh,
But
I think it's up to you if you want
yeah,
whatever,
yeah. But you know
Doesn't
how like
have
a
to be
ship
either.
is always a woman, or tends
Oh.
to have female names type thing.
Oh,
I don't
true.
know. I don't know if people feel that way about their computers. I don't actually. Well, I do name mine in the sense that I name them for iCloud, but otherwise,
Oh, true.
they don't have creative names. It's just
usually just my
Sarah
name.
Lane's Mac Mini,
Same. Same. So
Eileen's
boring.
iPhone.
Yep. Yep. Eileen's
Yeah.
iPhone Pro, and then I'll change it. 16. Great. Awesome.
You're right. Yeah.
Just so I know.
I had it. I had a creative name for an iPhone years ago, and I had a car that I don't have anymore, and it was the first one that used. It wasn't even CarPlay, but it was like Bluetooth. So you could get at least some stuff from your phone, hooked into your infotainment on the car, and it was some like inside joke, or it was like Bestie on Fleek was the name of my phone, and then it kept showing up. And if anyone was in my car, they're like, what is that? I'm like, this is weird. I don't
Yeah.
I don't know.
Change it back. I do. Yeah. When people name their Wi-Fi's and stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah. Tom does all of ours. So, my car is actually named. I have a Audi. So, I felt that, and I decided my car was a girl. And so I decided, since it's German, that I picked Nana, like Nana who sings 99 Love Balloons. So
Oh, yes.
that's
Yes. Okay.
Nana. That's my car name. So yeah, I
I
don't do
like
it
that.
for I don't do that for a lot of, devices or products that I have, but I did it for my car. So in short, my
There you
shorthand,
go.
I call her Nanes for Nana. So that's
Maybe
my car.
maybe I should rethink this. Maybe we can have a little bit more fun naming our various
Products.
computers. Which I mean, I guess a car is a computer at this point anyway.
Yeah.
I don't have a
Yeah.
name for my Volvo.
Hmm.
I love my car. Maybe my
Yeah.
car has wanted a name this whole time.
Well, it's
I don't
funny,
know.
just thinking about like even gaming. So I've been playing this Pokemon game with my niece, right? She's very into Pokemon and that's how we're connecting. We're like even FaceTiming once a week, and she's giving me tips because she's the master and I'm just learning. But she gets so frustrated. She's like, "How come you don't name your Pokemon? You just name it's just the name of the Pokemon. You should name their names." I'm like, "Oh, I never even thought about that." So I have, put the same Pikachu 1, Pikachu 2, Pikachu 3 instead of giving them names. And she's just like, "You
See,
should name your Pokemon." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you're right." And I do.
these are the sorts of things where, because I would be totally the same thing with you.
Yeah.
It's the times where you're reminded that young
Yes.
people know exactly what they're doing, and in many
Yes.
cases are using all sorts of settings that the rest of us are like, oh, I don't know, who cares? And
Factory
they're like,
settings
everyone
fine.
cares. Everyone cares. You must customize. Name your Pokemon.
So yeah, to your point, we should probably like maybe my iPhone, Eileen's iPhone Pro, iPhone 16 Pro should not be that. It should be something else. I don't know what. Somebody help me out.
Well, don't call it Bestie on Fleek, because anytime anyone's in your car, they'll be like, what is wrong with you?
What is Bestie on Fleek? I just put a lot of effort in Steven's name, so that's why I'm like, I'm all named out, man. That was I had a big one to name, and he really needed one. But do I have to do my devices too? I'm up for the
Yeah.
challenge, but I'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'll
Maybe
come
maybe
up,
in 3 months time.
I will come up with a car name. I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
if I don't know. My new Mac Mini. I mean, again,
Ooh,
this
that's
is
yeah.
this is this is vapor at this point until it's really announced, but let's just say this is happening next month.
Yeah.
It will get named. Also, it will get named because I hate it when it's like Sarah's Mac Mini parentheses 1, Sarah's Mac Mini parentheses 2, where I'm like, okay, I could try a little harder than
Yeah,
this. Like
try a
I could at
little
least
harder.
say living room or office
Oh man.
or something.
We will name our devices, but you know what, Sarah? What about the iPad mini? I got to get your take on the iPad mini. It sounds like it's coming.
Does and maybe not, who knows,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
it does. And enough of you have reached out to us after we
Yes.
talked recently about whether or not the iPad mini even makes sense, because you got a big iPhone and then you got a iPad and various Mac sizes, and is there room for an iPad mini? And many people say yes. It is not an iPhone. It's different.
Mhm.
It's different for various reasons. I mean, it's obviously running its own software at this point,
Yep.
but it is good for lots of things because it acts more like a computer than a phone.
Mhm.
Well, not everybody said that. Some people, do consider it more to be a phone. For me, it's just that form factor that doesn't make sense. I
Mhm.
prefer an iPhone Pro Max. I like the big phone. I want the
Mhm.
biggest phone possible. Maybe I'll change my mind someday, but for now, I'm used to it. Anything smaller just seems uncivilized.
Oh.
And not really. I'm doing a Grey Poupon joke, but the iPad Mini is like it. It's kind of the same. Is this even behind me? It's kind of the same issue I have with my. It might be in here. Maybe not. With my Kindle Oasis.
Okay. Yeah.
It's in here somewhere. I don't know. who knows? It tends to be lost in part because it's quite small. Now, this was given to me as a gift a couple of years ago by a friend. Wonderful gift. Great. Absolutely love it. But there's something about the form factor that's very iPad mini to me. That's just, it's like slightly too small to feel like a book. It feels like a mini book. And just, e-reading is different than, dead tree books anyway. But there's something to that form factor thing that I think some people are like, no, I am drawn to this. It's perfect for me. Whether you're, you do a lot of travel, you like things to be small and sleek, totally get that. So I don't know, Eileen. I think if Apple releases a new iPad mini, there are going to be a lot of people who are excited about it. I was under the impression that it was dying.
Yeah. And that's understandable with phones just, growing, right? I mean, this next phone is going to be bigger than my last phone, right? So, they don't want to let it go, and I think they know that there are a lot of people who don't want to let it go. So,
sure,
it seems like they're going to fix some features that have been annoying in the past, but I guess the current iPad mini was released in 2021. That's eons ago, it feels like. But they didn't really upgrade the last iPad. It had been a while too. So
but like, remember was it called the iPhone mini? What I think that was I think that was the iPhone 13, because I remember a friend of mine getting the iPhone mini, and yes.
The 13,
so it was the Apple iPhone 13 mini, and she's like, well, but I'm a small person and I have little hands, and I'm like, so do I. In fact, I'm smaller than you are. Like, I want the largest Max and just barely hold on to it. And she was like, no, this is the best phone ever. And then Apple didn't sell enough of them and discontinued the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, sometimes you're throwing things out the wall. Let's see what sticks.
Yeah. There's also rumors that the 11 might be upgraded too. I love my 11. I have an 11. I'm not going to upgrade it, even if it, does get an upgrade, but I feel like that's less of it would be more of a lower end 11 apparently, but we'll see. We'll see. But this is Sarah's event.
See.
This is your event. When this happens in October, this is, I want to hear you like cheering. Like we got to get a real-time reaction. Like, do a reaction, like just only record the part with the Mac music. Yes. Oh my God.
And then I'll be like, and then price. I
know. Yes.
Shoot.
Yes. That's exactly right.
Shoot. Well, no, I know this is, once a year. I deserve it. I deserve it. And my poor little sluggish Mac Mini now with me. You're not going anywhere, buddy. Whatever your name is.
The nameless.
The nameless Mac Mini. You'll be put to work in some way somehow.
The new
real
one
quick,
will get a name.
Real quick, this was some news from this morning, Monday morning. Apple raising the battery replacement cost for the iPhone 16 Pro models. So not the base models, but the Pro models to $149. That's up from $99 for the iPhone 15 Pro. This is according to Apple's own repair and service page. Mac Rumors was where I read this. The change affects users who are looking for battery replacements and are outside of the standard warranty or Apple Plus coverage. So it may not apply to you, but if it does, the price is going up. Some people were mumbling and grumbling about this, and Apple apparently has more or less said, this is what you got. So buy that Apple Care Plus coverage.
Get it.
Get it.
Good luck.
Get it now. All right. Before we go to some social stuff, social comments that we've gotten, let's take another quick break. All right, Eileen, you mentioned being up real late last night, or I guess we should say this morning. So what happened?
So I am pushing the limits of my cloud storage on both iCloud and Google Photos. And I refuse to get a really big, larger than 2 terabytes of cloud storage, which is a problem because I am now recording on like this DJ Osmos. The phones itself have, 4K, 60 frames per minute. Like the quality of footage, and I shoot a lot of stuff, um, is so good, but the data is high. And so it's starting to creep, into my storage. And so I just decided, oh, well, I'll just move, like when I take videos of concerts or whatever, stuff that I don't really need on my phone. I'm not going to look at it all the time, but I may refer to it later. And I usually shoot in high quality. I'll just move it to my, 12 terabyte hard drive. I'll just move stuff. And so I've been also organizing in my external storage, folders like precisely this concert, this unboxing, this food or whatever. I'm just being very, good about organizing, and I'm just I'm taking groups and moving it, groups and moving it. For some reason last night, and this is a painstaking thing, I understand. For some reason last night, I noticed that footage from the last week were all in my recently deleted file, and I didn't touch anything in the year 2024. I only touched 2022, 2023. I didn't even really go back that far. I was just kind of like taking large chunks of video and moving them and then deleting them off iCloud. But it freaked me out that I saw, stuff from just the last 7 days in that file, and no more than that, just 7 days that, I had done a lot of stuff in the last 7 days. I've gone to 2 shows. I've done a lot. I'm like, "Oh my God, where's all my footage?" I was freaking out. I
Yeah.
just didn't understand, like, what did I do? Obviously, it's a user. I think it must be a user error because this has never happened before, and I have been transferring data. So I must have done some weird shift command and then, whoop, like it just happened to, highlight some newer videos. But I, for the life of me, because this was like I discovered this around 1 a.m, and then I just kind of like breathe in, breathe out. You were gonna go to sleep, but you need to figure this out. And then I just kind of, thank God, did the like, how do I, recover my footage? Because for like a good solid hour, I had permanently deleted all of that footage because I had been doing so well of cleaning
Yeah.
on
Right.
my Mac. But it turns out my phone still had that footage because it hadn't sunk yet. So I was able to, in the nth hour before like I need to go to sleep, recover all of the things that I really, really needed, and Seven's photos. And again, this is only a week's amount of footage, not like longer than
But
that,
it's
I hope.
like, who
But
even
it's like
cares?
it's
I
great.
mean, it's footage
But
that you care about.
I no longer am going to do this very cute video on pumpkin explosion at Trader Joe's because I just forgot to recover those and they're gone. I have no idea. Maybe one day I'll go back to Trader Joe's. I was at Trader Joe's the other day and I was like, yeah. The Fridays, whatever I record on Friday, I just did not recover those. And then by the time I figured that out, my phone and my computer sunk. Everything sunk. Now it's all up to date. I'm like, well, I wasn't completely done, but I got all the things that I really needed. But it was just very frustrating that happened at all. And I swear I probably was just sitting here at my desk thinking, how did I do that? Like, it was more about how did I do that? Not like it's irrecoverable because I was able to recover the stuff. So I guess the moral of the story is get more storage, be careful, maybe not do anything at the middle of the night. 1 o'clock in the morning is probably not a good time to be moving footage. I don't have a lot of time during the day because I'm usually with Seven, but and he's not allowed in my office right now. It's just not puppy proof. But man, that scared me, you guys. And so I need to rethink my strategy of data management in the cloud, because now I'm thinking, well, shoot, maybe because everything like I will be recording at high, frame rates, maybe I do need bigger storage. And I was not syncing to. There's a lot of places I wasn't syncing to, like I wasn't syncing to Dropbox. And again, I don't have terabytes on that too. Everything was 2 terabytes. Google, iCloud, and Dropbox. So I was approaching, filling all of that up already into an
I mean,
entire.
I don't even think I have 2 terabytes on iCloud. Let me check.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, I just bumped it up on Google Photos recently too because
I mean, maybe, yeah.
I got the notice that was like, oh, and that's why I couldn't share our doc that we,
Right. Yeah. You said
because
you were something like, oh, this is a Google thing. And I was like,
yeah, they
but like
made
the
me
doc is
upgrade.
going to be
Yeah,
like 12 kilobytes.
but because they were penalizing me because my photos was so, my storage count was approaching. They penalized me. They're like, well, you can't share documents until you upgrade. I was like, are you kidding me? I've been paying
Yeah.
$1.99 for years, and all of a sudden, I don't know. Anyway, my point is, um, do your due diligence, especially if you're getting all these new phones and you're going to be,
No, it's
capturing
true. It's true.
memories, like don't be
I think
lazy
that
about
this is the number one thing that, it's kind of like tech support. We can all kind of, so somebody's always going to be able to help you with, either you can do it yourself or you can, ask that, that friend or that family member. In my family, that person is me, to help you with this or that. But when it
Yeah.
comes to losing something,
Oh,
losing something that is, like you said, it's like, okay, it's a week of things, but it's not things that you can get back.
yeah.
That could have been the most poignant week of your life. It
Right.
doesn't matter. The point is that you
Yeah.
can't get it back.
Right.
And yeah, I'm
Oh,
looking at I'm looking at my iCloud. I have 200 gigs. And in
so
fact, I'm about to max out on this, which has happened before, which is why I
yeah.
have external hard drives. But a
Right.
lot of that is like work related things where I'm like, it can go on an external. No one's probably even going to
Yeah.
ask me about this ever again. But, I've got it somewhere. But yeah, it's very important. And I mean, anytime I get a new iPhone, I just restore from iCloud. It's the
Yeah.
same thing.
It's the
All
same
of
thing.
my
Yeah.
all of my photos from, going back to 2009 when I started, using iCloud, they're all there.
Now,
And that's the way I like it.
last night I could have restored my phone back because my backup had not hit Sunday. It was still like Saturday was the backup. So it backed up for all the way up to Saturday. So technically, maybe I could have found that weeks of footage. I don't know when it actually got deleted. I think it was deleted on Sunday and not Saturday. So technically, I could have restored my phone, grabbed all of that footage back, but everything that I had managed to delete and move would have come back. And I would have had to start what was already like on my
Yeah.
third day all
Right.
over
Yeah.
again. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, now is that, is
It's like the
there,
full restore. I guess it's better than nothing, but then you're like, "Ugh, all that
but I have to go
work."
through all that work and for a
Yeah.
week of footage. So I decided not to restore my phone from that Saturday. And now it's too late. Now it's already sunk to last night. So, with everything
Yeah.
changed. So anyway, it's just one of those things like be careful, everybody.
I can't remember this is similar to your situation. I can't remember exactly what happened, but it was the same thing where I was like, I can just go back to, use Time Machine and
Yeah.
just, it was a computer thing, not an
Yeah.
iPhone thing necessarily, but it was a computer. I'll use Time Machine. I'll go back. I will I will go back in time to two
Yeah.
days ago, and then I will find the thing. And it's
Yeah.
like the thing was there, but then other things weren't there because they hadn't
Yeah.
happened yet. And I was like, yeah,
Oh, I don't know if I want to
time
go all the way
travel.
there. Yeah.
It works sort of, you know. Yeah, I'm not even backing up to Time Machine these days.
Yeah, I'm not either. And that could have been another solve. But again, it was just the when I looked back, it was really just the last week. Everything else was there. I could tell. And so I'm like, how much do I really value to get every single photo, every single video. I grabbed as much as I could see, in the middle. I'm okay, restore. And then finally I was like, oh, I'll finish the rest in the morning. When I woke up in the morning, everything sunk. I was like, oh, I can't even do that anymore. Okay. Well, thank God I chose all the stuff that I really wanted.
Yeah. Eileen.
I know.
These sorts of things. Yeah. Good reminder. And I am the last person to tell you how to back up your data the best way possible, because I think it's a very personal decision, right? Some people are like, cloud is fine. Other people are like, cloud is not fine. Mm-hmm. You have to have physical data. Physical data, actually, even though I've got, a variety of these guys in various drawers around my house, physical data bothers me, because if that's the only place it is and my house burns down, then
you don't
we're
have
screwed.
it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like some sort of hybrid of both. That makes sense for me. But, I'm not following my own advice all the time either. Yeah. So there you have it.
Anyway.
Well, we got, I'm glad that, first of all, thank you for sharing your harrowing journey with the rest of us. And I'm glad that for the most part, besides a pumpkin situation at Trader Joe's,
I had this whole
mostly
video planned. Yeah, it's okay. I could give up the Trader Joe's funny pumpkin, but let me tell you, Trader Joe's is pumpkin crazy right now. It is like everything that you can think of is
pumpkin. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not just breads, but I'm talking drinks and I mean, it is everywhere.
And I feel like, listen, I like a pumpkin pie all day. I do not hate a pumpkin. Pumpkins are cute looking. They're fun in general, all in on the pumpkin. But the pumpkin spice everything, sometimes I'm like, come on, guys.
It was hilarious.
Come on.
I had this whole thing where I was going to play the Halloween theme song. Dun, 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 and you see all of these pumpkins. I can still go back. And Trader Joe's still has everything there. So I can go back any day.
Oh, you can go back. I went to Sprouts, a grocery store that's near me, yesterday. And I mean, it's Gourd City. Walking in there, like to the point where I was like, because I know where the shopping carts are, over to the left. I was like, a lot of pumpkins. Wow, where did they come from? I mean, it became Pumpkin Town in the last week. Like there was nary a pumpkin the last week that I was there.
Everybody wants to switch to fall. I get it. Me too.
They do. I was actually looking at. Okay, now I'm getting totally off track. Before we wrap up, I need a couple of throw pillows for my couch. I have a couple, but like the last time I moved, a couple just sort of went missing, and there's no way for me to I don't know what happened to the pillows. I won't blame the movers, but I'm like, did the movers take my pillows? I don't know. But I need a couple throw pillows. So I'm looking on Etsy, and I'm like, I haven't been on Etsy in a while. Yeah. The Etsy app, the iPhone app, by the way, is actually pretty great. Etsy is it's trying to reimagine itself as well, not reimagine itself, but it used to be, this is where like the crafty people were, like you're going to get a homemade pillow on Etsy. And then it became a lot of like, oh, now you've got a lot of companies that sort of, fast fashion-y type stuff that are on Etsy, competing with the people who were sort of the heart of Etsy. And now the company itself has gone a little bit back to, we want to make sure that if you're really that person crocheting the throw pillow that Sarah is going to buy, that we verify that as a company, kind of thing. Anyway, I'm on Etsy yesterday looking at throw pillows, and there's all these witch pillows, and I'm like, what is going on with
I
the
thought
witch
you were going to say pumpkin. I was waiting for a pumpkin pillow.
No,
witch.
I mean, there probably were pumpkin pillows, and I just scrolled past them because I'm just like, I don't know, it's a color. But I'm like, what is up with the witch pillows? Like, so many witch pillows. And then I went to West Elm, which is, a corporation. And I'm like, let's just look at throw pillows here. Witch pillows. So many. And I was like, oh, right. Because Halloween, duh.
Yep.
It's just, it's September 16th. Guys, you're getting ahead of it. I gotcha. A lot of
Yeah,
witch
these were
pillows.
already, I bet you they were already out in August. You hadn't been looking yet.
Oh,
I
I'm
bet you they were
sure.
already there,
Yeah, I just wasn't looking. So,
Yeah.
I didn't know any better. But yes, if you would like a witch
That's
pillow,
strange.
the internet has you covered. Has
That's
you
strange.
covered.
But all
Oh
right.
boy.
Sounds good.
Well, before we wrap up, we did get an email from Dan. This is in response to the iPhone event from last week, September 9th. Dan says, okay, so I'm old and senile. I'm 89. By the way, Dan, you're never old or senile, and kudos to
No.
you. But Dan says, I thought this was the worst product announcement ever. What was
Wow.
with all the drone flyaways? First, I surmised that they were going to announce an overpriced drone and a camera setup to go with the equally overpriced Apple Vision Pro. After the 10th or more of these transitions, I turned the announcement off. Never did see the iPhone 16 announcements. I'm a bit surprised that neither of you mentioned the presentation. Product coverage by
Oh,
both of you was good as always, and thank you. Keep up the good work. Okay, so Dan,
yeah.
well, thank you for the kind words.
Yes.
I mean, I think we were so focused on what Apple talked about that we weren't. I think we did mention a drone shot or
Slightly.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
We
it was
mentioned the
it was definitely
presentation
something
itself.
that I
It was short.
noticed.
It was short because before we went on and on about like the BART train and for the WWDC and Craig Frater.
Right, yeah.
Craig was not there much. He was not very present. He was like there for part of the phone and came back again, but he didn't do anything but stand at the Palace of Fine Arts. He didn't jump out of a plane. So there
No.
wasn't much to like talk about. The only thing I saw was like when they went from the iPhone to the iPhone Pro, it went to night. From day to night, all of a sudden I was like, oh, okay, we're getting serious here with the Pro. Is that what this
Right,
is?
yeah.
Like, I
We're
know low
serious,
light,
and you
blah, blah,
can't have
blah.
any colors.
No colors.
That's how serious we are. No, I don't, Dan, I don't know how many of these pre-recorded events, Apple events you've watched in the past. Maybe you've watched all of them. This kind of started in 2020 and has gone on ever since. I prefer them. I find them to be kind of hokey at times, but also just kind of fun, and it allows Apple to be an infomercial. Yes, I think those that those knocks on Apple are legitimate, but it's like a good way to watch Apple do what it's doing. And for those of us who are never going to go to the Apple campus, I don't know, maybe someday Eileen and I will go to Apple Park, but I've never been there. I get it, like a kind of fun feeling of what Apple had going for it when it built the campus in the first place. Even though this particular event was definitely in a lot of other locations besides Apple Park. But I don't know. The drone stuff, it didn't bother me too much, but I get what you're saying. Maybe it felt a little overproduced.
Yeah, and maybe we were just in it was sort of lackluster in terms of there wasn't that many bells and whistles to the presentation. It was like, next person, there's a big fake wall behind them, and here comes, full screen of the device and
Yeah.
and then we're out. Like there wasn't any, hijinks. I really feel like WWDC was over the top, and then comparatively, this is just your normal. They could have given us a deck, but it was still
Yeah.
nice to have a presentation and to break it down for
Yeah.
consumers.
Yeah.
So, but I think it just wasn't like dazzling, the presentation, and then people were already feeling kind of wah about the products. So
Yeah,
I think
maybe
that's maybe why we didn't
maybe
respond.
there's a little bit of like a expectation management thing that Apple has to think about going forward, because all of their events that have been pre-recorded, or even WWDC is somewhat in person, but still you have a pre-recorded keynote, are very splashy. You look at them and you're like, wow, this is I mean, they obviously hired the best graphic designers, the best editors, the best cinematographers, all that stuff. And to have, products that you're like, I'm not going to buy any of the stuff.
Yeah.
That maybe makes it feel like Apple is going over the top. I mean, they're going to go over the top every time. Let's be honest. All companies are going to do this. they're going
They have to.
they're
Need
going to
attention,
say
yes.
this is the best thing we've ever made because that's what's happening. You know, it's just up to us to decide if we want to be part of it or not. Well, everybody, this has been a wonderful episode of the show, as usual. We love your feedback. Thank you again to Dan for writing in. More emails, please. Feedback at applevisionshow.com is where to send those emails. And we'll be back doing it all again next week, won't we, Eileen?
We will. And I think I should have my phone and my watch.
There you go. All right. Show and tell. Show and tell. Show and tell next week. All right, everybody. Have a good one.
We'll have names. I'll give my, I don't know. Should I give my watch name too?
I mean, now I feel like
I
I've never considered giving my watch a name, and now I look at it and I'm like, I'm sorry.
know. It's just, you're just like, watch OS, you know,
Yeah.
or a watch 7 for you. Watch Series 7.
Sarah's Apple Watch.
so-
It's Sarah's Apple Watch because I've only had the one. That's what it's
Yeah.
called. That's what it's always been called. Listen, y'all, I'm realizing because I'm looking at the time, Otis is
Yeah,
going
it's
to the vet at 4.
Oh my gosh.
And
you guys gotta go.
there's nothing wrong with him. He's just, check up stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a new vet, so I want to get there a little early.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to not do a lot of chatting here,
Yeah.
but
Well, we can just say goodbye to the online people
Yeah.
so we can get our uploads begun.
Bye, guys.
All right, everybody.
Thank you.
See you next week. Thanks for hanging.